Hello friends, Mr. J here with Mr. J Relationship Coach, here to give you your weekly dose of vitamin J. I really don't have anything specific that I planned for this week's vitamin J, but I was talking to this lady the other day, and after our coaching session, it got me thinking of something that I think a lot of people deal with. She's dealing with her husband having an affair with a coworker, and obviously very hurt. And through her tears, she kept asking, why wasn't I enough? How could he do this? Blah, blah, blah. And one of the things I told her many things, but one of the things I told her is you cannot compare yourself to a chemical. That's it. 9 times out of 10, or even more so, somebody doesn't have an affair because somebody was younger or prettier or didn't have bad breath or had a smaller butt, all these things we like to think about. Simply, adrenaline kicked in, and adrenaline hijacks your brain. It releases all of these feel-good endorphins. So you can't ask yourself, what did so-and-so have that I didn't? Basically, somebody got involved 9 times out of 10 because of the adrenaline. And adrenaline usually lasts between 16, 18, up to 2 years. And then kind of adrenaline wears off, which is why the longest an affair, or usually affairs, end at around the 2-year mark, because the adrenaline wears off. And really that's all that the affair was emotion-based. It wasn't based on love, which is a choice, what have you. Which is why I say all the time, betrayal affects you, but it's not about you. But we do personalize it. It's very similar on a much smaller scale to when you're driving down the street and you're completely clueless and you're singing along to your music, and all of a sudden somebody speeds by you on the side and you glance over and they stick their middle finger up at you. Apparently you cut them off or did something unknowingly. And all of a sudden, what do? You start to say, did I not signal? Was I driving too slow? You start criticizing yourself. You start being negative in yourself, in your internal dialogue. The fact that somebody stuck their middle finger up at you had nothing to do with you, especially from an intentional perspective, but it affected you. Same thing with betrayal. It's not about you, but it affects you. And then you start to question yourself. Why was I not worthy? What did I lack? What could I have done better? So and so and so and so. And like I said, you cannot compare yourself to a chemical, which is adrenaline. So the next time you want to ask yourself, or if you're in a relationship and you're reconciling with your spouse, instead of asking them, what did they have that I didn't? Because really 9 times out of 10, they can't even answer them themselves, which frustrates you probably asking, because you'll say, what did so-and-so have that I didn't? And they're like, nothing, availability, what have you? And then that just frustrates you because you want an answer. Bottom line, it was emotion based. It was adrenaline that was fueling the affair. And you also can't ask, well, I thought you loved me, or if you loved me, you wouldn't do this. The bottom line is, I've talked to so many couples that are reconciling, and they do love the person they're with. When somebody steps outside the marriage, it's never usually because they stop loving them. What happens is they temporarily stop loving themselves. So the next time you want to question your partner about an affair he or she had, remember, you cannot compare yourself to a chemical, and you cannot ask if you loved me or I thought you loved me, because certainly they can, especially if we start to go into addict mode, those with addictions that can compartmentalize and disassociate and all this other stuff. They certainly loved you. They loved you with all their heart. And that's why they're very saddened and guilt-ridden and shamed with what they did, because they just didn't love themselves, which is what allowed them to do what they did. So I hope I made some type of point with this and helped some people going through this. As always, never hesitate to reach out to me for any reason, and I hope you take care of yourself and others.